Welcome back to my channel. It's time for the top 10 board games of 2022. These are games that I've owned and played and games I've really enjoyed this year. So let's begin the list. Starting off at number 10, it is a game that I knew I would like when I first got this game because of the theme. It's Ark Nova. So this is the zoo simulation game where you essentially build a zoo. You use card selection systems on a sliding scale to build your part, to get animals, to place enclosures, to place partnership cards, to support conservation projects, use workers on association board, and use cards in sort of like Terraforming Mars. The cards have symbols, iconography that link with each other, have abilities and chain combos and stuff. It's just a really great game. I love the real use of artwork for the animals. Feels like you're actually building a zoo. It's got a nice complexity level. It's not too complex, not too easy. It's just sort of nice in between, nice and medium difficulty. It's just a really fun game. It flows quite nice because you're only doing one action per turn. Much like Terraforming Mars, you do one simple action, take a card, slide down, do the action, and you're done. And because of this, the game goes quite fast. Even at 4 players, the game plays quite quickly. Lots of ways to score points, lots of ways to get different combinations and synergies going on. It's just an all-round great Euro game. It has a good solo mode too, also a good fan-made solo mode, I think called Arno, which is a really fun solo mode to play, very difficult. It's just one of the more fun Euro games I have. It's a game that I knew I'd like and I really enjoyed playing this year. Number 9 is Starship Captains by the same people who made Lost Ruins of Arnak. This is much like that, a Euro game of space exploration. You play as a captain on your ship with your crew. You must navigate the galaxy, fighting pirates, going on missions, recruiting more crew, upgrading your crew, collecting tech cards, and going for victory points. And it's just one of the games where you have a lot of ways to gain points. Managing your crew, you can use medals to get points or to upgrade your crew. When the crew upgraded, you can get more crew onto the board and bring them across in the queue system. The tech cards have little hidden symbols and abilities. A lot of replay value, a lot of mission cards, a lot of ways to get points. What's great here too is the game is 25 minutes per player, and that's accurate. The game does play quite quickly. And once you learn the symbols, the game is easy to play. It's very simple. You just basically place a matching colour-coded crew member onto a slot as its room, lets you move, fight a pirate, get tech or repair. And the more powerful crew you can get more crew onto the board or do actions twice. And the more tech cards you get more points, more abilities, more rooms. It's just one of those games, much like Lost Ruins of Arnak, where there's lots of ways to gain points, lots of ways to expand and grow, upgrade your crew, and it feels nice to play too. And it's not too hard to learn. It's just sort of like, much like the previous game, it's a very good medium-weight Euro game. Number 8 is possibly the most unique game on this list, and one of the most unique games I've ever played, and that's Lands of Galzyr by Snowdale Design. This is an open-world narrative adventure game for 1 to 4 players. And when I say open world, it is truly open world. You have a sort of starting mission, a few set of instructions, a few bits, but after that, you are free to go where you want and do what you want. You pick one of the animal characters with different stats and a few items and abilities, and you explore the map. There's different location cards, there's different events that appear, there's quest cards, there's characters you'll meet, and you use a web browser that you can download offline if you want to play it offline to do quests. And it's sort of like a choose your own adventure kind of game. It's very good at low player counts because the gameplay here sort of takes a back seat. It's basically move around, collect a quest, use the app and do skill tests. A bit like Arkham Horror style skill tests where you have a set number of dice, and if you have more skills than one, you'll get better dice, roll the dice, compare the results, and get a reward. And you have little small story chunks and little narratives and that, and you just progress. You can play competitively or cooperatively. Competitively, you'll get prestige. After so many days, the most prestige wins. And you can just play a nice, chilled-out co-op game of just exploring and having an adventure. And it's really fun too. People can join you on quests. You can have partners. All the items you can collect, all the people you can meet, all the companions, the abilities, the traits, the stories you find. It's a really well-written game. The stories are great. The text is fun. It's really interesting. It's really in-depth. And there's so many scenarios and challenges and stories to unlock and find. You get achievements and stuff, you get new items, your character gets stronger, you get more gold. It's just a really, really relaxed, truly open world board game. Number 7 is a game I picked up at the UK Game Expo this year. It's a game I wanted for a while, but I was a bit put off because I had too many Euro games. It is Bitoku by Devia Games. This is a wonderfully themed Euro game. I love the mythical Japanese style spirits and the artwork and the theme here. You know, all the unique names for the cards, the Bitoku, the yokai, the Kadamas, the spirit names and stuff. And much like other Euro games, there's just tons of ways to gain points and combos and synergize abilities and unlock new combinations and stuff. You basically play cards to unlock dice and get abilities, then you use dice on a 5 location on the board. These can give you many things, such as dragonflies and spirits to get extra points and bonuses. You can use movement points to move across the path top of the board and get extra rewards, or use your Bitoku cards to move your own little path at the bottom of your player board. You can place building tiles down, which people can then use and you get points for. And you can also get crystals that have certain effects, such as endgame rewards or bonuses when you use certain actions. It combines set collection, tableau building, light deck building, dice placements, and all these little things together. It's a little bit complex. I say that same as Ark Nova. It's not too hard, but there's just a lot going on at once there. But I think that the theme, the artwork, and just the overall presence of the game wins me over. It's similar to Ark Nova in terms of difficulty, just a medium weight kind of Euro game, but it's the wonderful theme and the smooth mechanics and how everything comes together at the end of the game that really wins me over. Number 6 is Marvel Dice Throne. This is the first dice throwing game I've ever played. I really heard it was good and I wanted to try it out, and when I saw the Marvel edition I thought yes, something me and my friends would like to play. So I got Marvel Dice Throne and it was a great success. Everyone loved it. It's a really, really great game. What's good here is it's so wonderfully simple. You get your little box, your little tray, get your cards, get your board out, collect your dice, and that's pretty much it. You're ready to go. And all you do is on your turn, you just basically draw a card, get some CP, play cards, they can be upgrades or event cards or cards modified dice, roll your dice, have a few tries to get certain dice, and activate certain abilities to be attacks, and then you choose your attack. You can do damage, you can do effects, status tokens. What's great here is it plays fast and it's simple, but there's a lot to it. You know, using a good combination of dice and strategy because you have to use certain abilities, especially in big multiplayer games who you attack. You can do 2-on-2, you can do 3-for-alls. We played 2, 3, 4, 5 player 3-for-alls. It's all been really fun and really tense. The game goes quite quickly. The component quality is great. It's just a really accessible game. Fans of Marvel will love this game. Fans of dice rolling games will love this game. The game just works because it's so simple. You just basically roll dice and match symbols and activate abilities. And it sounds a bit bland like that. And I suppose some people it might be a bit bland, but that's what Jesus' game. It's so simple, but it works so well. And it works well at any player count too. Number 5 is my first Kickstarter game I got this year, and it is Dog Park by Boardgames. This is just a really relaxing, chilled out, nice Euro game. Easy to play, you combine some nice mechanics like set collection, point bidding, resource management and stuff. And it's just a really fun game to play, all the nice dog artwork, the great component quality. Basically bid on dogs you want to walk, you then pay resources, go on a walk, activate abilities, get more resources for the next round, and then get more points. There's always hundreds of dog cards, there's the forecast cards, there's the little ability cards and stuff you can get. There's tons of ways to gain points and combinations. It's easy to learn, it's fun to master. It's just a really, really well-designed Euro game. It's one of those great sort of gateway games that it's got a great accessible theme. Everyone likes dogs, everyone wants to play a game about walking dogs. The artwork's so nice. But at the same time there, it's not too complex, but there's a little bit more to it to get points and get high scores. So it's a really fun game for any player type. Number 4 is the most adorable game on this list. It is Flamecraft by Cardboard Alchemy. This is a game I saw and immediately fell in love with. I thought the artwork here is absolutely stunning. It looks so charming and enticing. And when I finally got this game, I realised how good it was. Much like Dog Park or say Eldervale, it's very simple. It's a worker placement kind of game. Much like Dog Park and say Eldervale, it's a very simple worker placement game. Easy to play. All you do on your turn is you have a board with slots for shops. You take your worker, place it at a shop. You can then either gain the resources there and activate a dragon ability, or pay a lot of resources and enchant the shop, gaining points, making the shop better. And the more you play, the more dragons you play to the shops, the more abilities you get, the more resources you can get, shops get better, and then when the shops get full, you get new shops on the deck, and the board grows and grows and grows. Then by the end of the game, you've got so much choice of shops and abilities and ways to gain points and ways to get resources. You know, the enchantment cards are great, dragon cards have unique abilities, but what's great is they aren't too complicated. Each type has a certain ability, so you know which abilities are which, and it's easy to learn. What's great here is, though, we've been such a fun, easy gateway game, but at the same time, to get a high score is very difficult. The solo mode of this game is very good. It's very hard to get a high score on solo, because you run out of time. You're playing against yourself. But you can get achievements, you can lock new cards to play in solo. So that's really great too. And of course, the best thing about this game is just the dragons, the theme. These adorable themed dragons that work in the shops, different colour-coded things, like, you know, the green ones have plants and herbs, red ones have like fire and meat and stuff. It's just a really nice game. It's one of the most perfect gateway games you can get to players to play. I put us up there with Eldervale for being one of the best, most charming, well-themed gateway games available on the market today. If you want a good, lightweight worker placement game, I highly recommend getting Flamecraft. Number 3 is the complete opposite end of the spectrum in terms of difficulty and theme. This is Cloudspire by Chip Fury Games. Now, this is a big MOBA tower defense style competitive game. You have unique factions with their own abilities. Sets up the map, and basically each turn you have certain things. You build things, you assemble your units using CP, and then you start to fight each other. And what happens is the units you have sort of go on a set path. You can sort of control them a little bit, but they will move in sort of set path towards each other's base. And they'll sort of clash and attack, and you can roll dice, you can build towers for defense across the board. You can just sort of find relics and find rewards hidden across the map. You can upgrade your base, make your unit stronger, make your tower stronger, make your base stronger. You can have your units double-sided and get promoted side. You can have units have all these weird abilities, tons of abilities and keywords. It's like flying and ranged and piercing and assault, and, you know, the heroes have unique abilities and work differently. It's a very, very complex, very involved game. There's a lot of reading to take in there, a lot of keywords. Each faction has so many ways to play and abilities, and it is quite an involving game to play. But once you get into the game, you've got a solid game group who are dedicated to playing the same game. It's a very rewarding experience. It's a truly competitive, pure strategy tower defense style game with just tons of replay value and great production quality. Chip Fury Games are the best production quality of any game ever. The neoprene mats, the tokens, the premium vinyl poker chips that you use, everything just feels nice to play, and it fits in the box just perfectly. There's tons of replay value here, there's tons of units, there's 4 unique factions, there's a solo campaign, there's a co-op campaign, there's endless campaign mode play you can do. There's just so much stuff here to play with. It's a very complex game, but it's a very rewarding game too. Number 2 is a game that I always knew was good. Everyone posted about it saying how great it was, it had good reviews. Everyone said it's fantastic, but I thought it looked boring. I thought this game was going to be bad. But it turns out to be one of the best games I've played this year, and that is Obsession. This is a game where the theme, the artwork, the presence of the game itself did nothing for me. But after my first game of this, I was completely hooked. You play as a sort of old, noble family. Your estate's in ruins, you repair your estate. And basically you place building tiles down, you'll host events, you'll use gentry, these cards, you have different abilities, you'll gain money, gain prestige, upgrade your estate, gain more rewards, gain more cards, gain more money, have secret objective goals. Then at the end of the season, you'll sort of fight for courtship of this noble family, and then get your extra rewards. It's one of those Euro games where it's quite fast to set up, it's not too complex, but it's just so relaxing and rewarding to play. There's so many ways to get different tiles and upgrades, and each family has different abilities, and there's all these gentry cards, different abilities. So you've got light deck building in there, set collection, tile placement. It's just really fun. All you do in your turn is basically pick a tile, which is like an event. It can be like a dining room, a tea party, a garden, and that'll tell you how many cards you can play, what type of worker to use. So you're sort of limited there what to use. Then you'll basically play cards down. Each card can give you money, can give you certain rewards, and give you prestige. You can gain more cards from there. You also have hidden objective cards too to get to match up with these. So you're constantly trying to find the right tiles in the marketplace. And then you sort of have these events that occur where the tiles change over, and you have like a fair day and the courtship bits and stuff, and the builder's marketplace. You can buy anything you want. It's just one of the games where it's just very replayable. There's tons of replay value. There's 4 families that are unique. There's all these tiles. There's all these cards. It's a game where if you are slightly intrigued by Obsession, even by a little bit, just try it. Just try the game. If you want a good Euro game with tons of replay value and It's quite relaxing to play, not too hard, and the production quality is quite good too. I highly recommend getting Obsession. Number 1, my best game of the year, is a game that I've wanted for a long time, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It was out of stock, out of print for so long, and then finally I checked online and I managed to get a copy quickly. It is Dwellings of Eldervale. This is my favourite game of the year, possibly one of the best games I've ever played. This is a big box, fantasy game of worker placements with tableau building. And what's great here is, it's a big, massive game with all these tiles and monsters and factions and trays and bits and dice and tokens and meeples. But when it comes down to it, it's actually quite a simple game and it's very easy to learn. All you do on your turn is place a worker or recall your workers. That's all you do. The game works basically, you have a set map of randomised tiles. You have 2 types. You have elemental realm tiles and dungeon tiles. The realm tiles are linked to the elemental chart. These give you treasure reward tiles. You can also contain monsters that you can have to fight. If you place dwellings on there, you'll get rewards. You'll increase your elemental chart matching that. Then you have the dungeon tiles, which have certain abilities where you can draw more magic cards. You can recruit more workers, such as dragons and warriors and wizards. You can explore and get new tiles. When you explore, you get a new tile out, you build the map as you go, and you get these cards called adventure cards. This is like your sort of engine building mechanic where you basically pay resources and you place cards down in front of you. And then when you regroup, you have new things to put your workers on. They'll give you extra ability, extra resources, draw cards, do more stuff. Magic cards are great too because combat's quite simple. You basically just combine the units, anyone can join in, big massive fight, and you roll a dice. Highest number wins, and then go down in ties. But magic cards can do certain things like affect the flow of battle. They can give you extra VP, like quest cards, prophecy cards and stuff, end of game points. It's really fun to get elemental chart up and match the elements. So the more higher you are on an elemental chart, say like the red element, if you've got more red dwellings out and more red cards, you get a higher combination of points at times of points. There's tons of factions. Each one has unique abilities. Not too hard to understand, where it's like really complicated. But all they do is each one has 4 types of workers, but the basic workers, the wizards, warriors, and dragons. And some factions have different abilities, like some may say the dragons can have more attack, or the wizards can travel further, or the workers have more dice in battle and stuff. And what's great here too is the production quality is fantastic. It fits the box nicely. You have all these personalised trays, and all your bits are just right in there, for slots for your dice and your resources, and everything just packs away nicely. It plays quite quick, even at 5 players, it plays at a nice pace. It's very interactive, it's got a nice mix of look and strategy because of the dice, the magic cards and the realms and stuff. 5 monsters fun, it's really fun when a monster attacks you and you all join in and have a big sort of free-for-all combat fight a monster to see who wins, gets the rewards. There's just tons of ways to gain points, tons of adventure cards, tons of magic cards, the factions are fun to experiment with. There's tons of factions, each faction is double-sided too, so there's more factions there to use. It's just a really, almost perfect game. Competitive, engaging, very interactive, but not too hard to learn and plays quite fast. So for me, Dwellings of Eldervale is the best game I played this year. And that is it for my top 10 lists. Any comments or questions about this list? Comment down below. Anything you think I should play or think I should try? Any questions about any of these games? Comment down below too. As always, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.